Plugins 2, where plugins live. Last time we compared the plugin manager in Audacity 2 and 3. We'll find out where Audacity stashes all those plugins in this edition of Stuart's Audacity Tips. As with other series I've done in Stuart's Audacity Tips, this one should be kept together for easy reference. If you shared the first one, share this one the same way. Important. Before we get started, I need to make a correction to the last edition. The new plugin manager was introduced in Audacity 3.5.0. It is not available in all 3.x versions. A tip of my hat to reader David Gibson. This edition covers information that you technically do not need in order to use Audacity successfully and happily. Why in the world am I including it then? As with many things I cover, my hope is that this information will help prevent confusion should you ever run across a situation where it could do so. In order to have a sane conversation on this topic, I'm going to limit the discussion to Nyquist plugins to start, because Audacity-specific plugins are written in Nyquist. We'll talk about other types of plugins and their behaviors a bit later. There are lots of details to talk about in these. We'll come back to them as we go. But the first thing I want to talk about is where plugins live, according to the Audacity documentation. Nyquist plugins are installed in the following locations. When you use the Nyquist plugin installer from the Tools menu, the plugin file is installed in the User Installed location. Audacity installed plugins are located in the Audacity Installed location. Normally, you won't do anything with the Audacity installed plugins. The location is included here so that you'll know why you don't see .ny files for the Audacity installed plugins in the User Installed Plugins folder. For example, if you install Audacity on a new machine for the first time, the User Installed Plugins folder will have no files in it, but the plugin manager will show all the Audacity installed plugins. Those plugins are located in the Audacity installed location shown above. Important safety tip. If you install multiple versions of Audacity on the same computer, each copy of Audacity will have its own Audacity installed plugins folder. But the plugin manager will see all the .ny files on the computer and show them. In this case, you would see multiple copies of the Audacity installed plugins. Here are screenshots of the Audacity plugin manager from Audacity 2 and less than 3.4 in macOS, Windows, and Linux. Here are screenshots of the Audacity plugin manager from Audacity 3.5 and up in macOS, Windows, and Linux. The thing you'll notice among all these versions is the variety of paths where plugins are found. That's because these are taken from a variety of machines, each of which has its own collection of plugins installed. In addition to that, the plugin manager shows all the plugin types that are installed on the computer, not just Nyquist. So now we know where Audacity puts Nyquist plugins when we use the Nyquist plugin installer in Audacity to install them. But what about other types of plugins, like VST? Where do they live? Well, the snide answer to that question is sort of like the proverbial 800-pound gorilla's seating location, wherever they want. Basically, Audacity will find plugins that are installed on the computer, so if you have a Mac, for example, it will find any Apple plugins that are already there. If you have tools like RX from iZotope, it will find those plugins as well. They will show up in the plugin manager, and the path shown there will show where the plugin is located on the computer. The screenshots we already looked at showed examples of some of these. Next time, we'll take a look at actually installing Nyquist plugins, and we'll wrap up the series in a final installment after that to see how plugins other than Nyquist get installed. Hope this helps. I'm Stuart.